The events of the last few years have curtailed our freedom and have pulled into question what we think is normal. And perhaps it is now that we need to connect and we need to get together. And it is for this reason that we have formed the International Art Alliance. Good morning, I'm Cheryl and I'm from Darkinjung country. I live at north of Oka on the Central Coast, Australia, and I like to paint the beauty of the natural environment. And we're here this morning to interview Lara, but first of all, we'll go around and we'll introduce you to the other artists and the project that we're working on. So we're actually working on the project called Palimpsest, which is a concept. I like to think of it as a building, and that the building is perhaps decades or centuries old, and that as different people come into the building or they occupy it, it is changed with time. So we are 7 artists. We are working on the same 7 pieces of art. We are each adding a layer and we are sending it on. So Julie, do you want to be first up? Would you tell us a little bit about you and your art?
So I am from Rhode Island in the United States. It's I think the smallest state in the United States on the coast. And I am a fisherman's daughter. So I grew up on the water and around the water, and just painting water became a natural thing for me. Although I painted a variety of things. My mother owned horses. I used to paint horses, and but I was really drawn naturally to the coast, and I love being around it. I was a fisherman's daughter, so as I already said, and I actually caught eels myself for a living, and that time with nature just was the most amazing time. So when I make my paintings of the coast, my hope is that I can bring that same feeling and connection for people, that joy and peaceful comfort. And so that's what I hope to achieve with my art.
Yeah, and I can see some of your work in the background. Yeah. So Rose, can you tell us something? Can you introduce yourself and tell us about your work?
I would love to. Can you guys hear me properly? Okay, great. I'm Rose L. Williams, and I'm here in Vancouver, Musqueam and Tsleil-Waututh and Squamish territory. I like to explore my environment, and it doesn't really matter where I am, downtown East Side or Vancouver Island, wherever I am, I'll go walking and I will find something natural to make my art with. I extract the chemistry from plants and bark and various other natural materials, and I use that to create the matrix for my art, and using botanical or eco printing, and then I paint into it with letting my imagination fly. So that's what I do, and it's great to be here today.
And we love having you too. Stephanie, would you like to introduce yourself? It's just that the cat's just jumping up here.
Sure. So I'm Stephanie McLean. I am on the other side of Canada. So Rose is on the west coast and I am all the way on the east coast in Toronto, Ontario. I enjoy painting big faces and mostly of musicians these days. That's what I'm painting mostly. I have a degree in music, and I have a fond. I'm very fond of jazz. I have a deep respect for its traditions, and so that's why I'm attracted to painting mostly jazz musicians.
Wonderful. Denise, are you okay? Would you?
Yes, 1 second. Do you need me? Okay. Okay. I have to go, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Can you just show us your booth?
I might be able to hop on back later. I'll try.
Can you just give us a look at your booth? A really quick one before we go.
Really quick. Real
Yes.
quick.
Yes.
This is the reason why I have to go.
Yeah, looks great.
Good luck, break a leg.
Thank you.
Bye, Denise.
Bye.
Denise is a mixed media artist, calls herself the artist abroad. And she uses photographs from places where she has lived. And she puts these photographs into a composition in a perspective. And what she does is then she adds in the people and adds paint and highlights to them. And so she has these really interesting paintings of cities, and so they have the particular landmarks. And at the moment, Denise is doing a trade show. We have one other member who isn't here today, and that's Ross, and Ross C Berman, and Ross lives in LA. And I'm probably going to get this wrong, but he deals with the concept of it's chi or kai, which is a concept.
Hi.
I'm never going to get that. And it's a spiritual concept of life, of how to get more out of life. And he uses it as a symbol. And he does these really interesting works. And I think that most of them are on paper and they're printed. And so Ross just has a really, really interesting concept. So today we are here to interview Lara. So Lara is living in the UK. Lara, can you introduce yourself? Can you tell us something about yourself, about your art, about what you paint and why you paint it? And then we can ask you some questions.
Okay. I start saying that I'm Italian, and I lived for a few years in Spain, then in Abu Dhabi, and now I'm living in UK. And I painted and drawing all of my life, my entire life. The one of my first memories is when I were like 4 years old, and I discovered how to draw hands. Obviously very rough, but I was so excited about it that it's a memory that I keep in my heart. Also, when I was like in high school, and the teacher teach me how to define the eye. So when I was like 7, 8 years old, I started to draw, copying the faces from the magazines. And so probably there I start to love painting portrait. And it's what I love to do the most. But during my life, I also love to experience different techniques, different subjects. Also, I paint also landscape, abstract. I'm using watercolor, oil, acrylic, whatever. Also, I paint also with tea and coffee and salt, just to try. And that's it. So yeah, I work also in different branch of the art spectrum, like scene designer when I were 25. I work also for a magazine and like illustrator. But I discovered that what I love the most is just paint what I love to paint, not what other asked me to paint.
Yeah, we're all a bit like that.
Yeah.
Julie, would you ask? You've got a question?
Well, I'm wondering, what is it about harmony and equilibrium that drew you to have that as your mission?
Let's say that the harmony is more my why. I think that I don't know if it's correct, but I think I have a why and I have a mission. My why is the needed to find balance in whatever, in everything. So also in my painting, in the image, because I think that we need to keep balance in to have harmony in lives, in like a concept. It's like you can see the light. There is the dark, but without dark you cannot see light. We have to have the opposite. Okay, we need the opposite and have the balance on the opposite. So probably also when I paint, I try to find this balance. Sometimes if the image that I'm painting, inside of myself, I cannot find balance. I feel like something that is disrupted in me. I don't know if the terms is correct. Yeah. And the mission is about, I don't know if it will change, but now is I would like to painting female faces. I would like to inspire in other women to find their own strength inside them. This is my mission. Mm-hmm. In some way, probably it's also linked to the why, because I think always to the I'm thinking always to this balance.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Denise, do you want to go next?
I hope that it was clear. It was clear.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes, I'd love to go next. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I missed the rest of the conversation, of course. So I hope this question hasn't been asked yet. But I was really wondering, because you paint both portraits and abstracts, if there is a different way you approach each type of painting that you create.
Yes. With the portrait, I do a research about the image that I want to work on, and has to have some characteristic like the contrast, the image. And I'm doing a long research, and also I work on in the preparation of the canvas. With the abstract, it's like just putting color on. It's just liberating my soul, and I love to work also on layers. I never know what's going on the canvas until it's finished, and I just need to feel here that for me the canvas is finished.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Lara.
Thank you, Denise.
Rose, have you got a question? What's your question?
Yeah, well, the more I learn about Lara's work, the more questions I have. But it seems to me that you write about the sensory, the sensual part of painting, and I respond to that because I find painting stimulates my senses like so much. So I'm just wondering, like, what aspect of painting attracts you in terms of your sensory stimuli?
The first answer that comes to me, it's the excitement and the frustration that comes with painting, because it's like going through an odyssey. It's like a journey, but you never know what's going on. And so sometimes I feel a frustration because I cannot achieve what I want to achieve. And when I'm getting it, it's like it's ecstasy. No, it's like to fall in love. You feel this excitement, and yeah, and there was also a second part, but I don't remember now. So okay.
I find that so interesting that you talk about the frustration and the tension, but when we look at your pieces, they're almost all feel so calm, and they exude a sense of peace and balance. So it's interesting. It's almost like you're working the frustrations out for your viewers, and then we get to experience the calm and the balance. So
Yeah,
thank you.
probably yes. Probably yes, but it's the problem is when I don't get this calmness with the painting, so probably I get frustrated with that.
Thank you.
Thank you,
your
Rose.
portraits look very still. They look really still, really right in that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like to be resilient.
Yeah. Stephanie, do you have one? And what we should all, the rest of us, we need to think up, what question would Ross ask?
Oh,
Oh.
if I were
It would be
Ross, if I
deep.
were Ross, yes.
What would Ross say?
Okay. Okay, I'll go ahead with mine first then. So Lara, did something specific lead you to seek equilibrium in your art and or in your life? You can just talk about your art if you want, or whatever you're comfortable with.
What in specific? I don't know. I probably my life. Yeah, because I didn't have much equilibrium in my life, also in my childhood.
Right.
So probably I needed to find something that was the term that comes to me is strong and balanced. Yeah.
Right. And do you find, if you don't mind, I'll ask you a follow-up question. Do you find that painting, because you are, trying to create balance and equilibrium in your art, do you find that that in turn brings you some comfort in terms of finding
Absolutely.
equilibrium
Yes.
and balance?
Absolutely. No, I need. Yeah, that this is a kind of rough part of my life.
Yeah.
And painting, it comes would be like a medicine that I need to do. And yeah, it's a harsh part. Okay, so yes, absolutely, painting give me balance that I need.
Yeah, nice.
Also the colors, I found out that I tend to use some colors in some period and other colors in other periods. Sometimes I need to see more contrast, some other more pastel and more softer colors. So and also I try also to search what I feel in the plex. The plex give me the answer if I'm doing the right path for
in your
myself.
solar plexus, like in your solar plexus.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
That's so beautiful.
Usually,
yeah.
I use the plex. But I think that all of us use the plex to understand if we are in the right path, because it's like it's not something in your mind. Here, no. It's something that you cannot. It's in instinct. It's natural. It's so I tend to listen to hear my plex.
Yeah, like your intuition, your intuition, your instincts, all of that. Yeah, that's great.
It's a really interesting concept. I know that the Chinese often they would have a rising feeling, whereas I think that in Australia we have that sinking feeling. But they used to say that it was rising, and it was really interesting how various cultures have. And I was just thinking about Lara, with your Italian heritage, how we often use words in different ways. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. This is my worry about talking in English, because sometimes I'm not sure if I'm using the right term.
It's really interesting to have that. Just really interesting. Do you do commissions, Lara? Do you?
No, because I've studied to be an illustrator, And I found out that I didn't enjoy to be an illustrator because I don't like to probably because I associated to something to sell that you have to do to sell. So I want to paint what I like to paint, what I want to paint, what I feel to paint, not what someone else said to me that I need to paint.
On that note, the thing that I personally think Ross would ask on a deeper level is, you said you do research before you do your portraits. Are you researching the character, the person who is inspiring the image? And on what level does the actual persona that you're representing influence the painting?
To be honest, I don't know. When I'm searching for them, okay, because now I'm my next painting probably, never say never, but will be around my daughter painting. So I can say to her which kind of image I want. Before I search the same image, but it's just what I felt looking the image. Not it's not that I started to look for an image and say I want this. So it will be also difficult to make the photos of my daughter to make the paintings. But sometimes I just do it instinctively. Yeah, follow the instinct. And I had also my previous painting. I had a series of paintings that are I've made in around 2008 and 2013, where I was the subject on the painting, and also there. Probably I just imagined the kind of emotion that I wanted to paint, and so took a picture of me or myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts from inside of you. It starts from the feeling inside.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And so you're doing a series like you're doing a series on your family. I mean, I think that'd be lovely.
No, it's not about my family. It's just because I'm using my daughter like a model. She's not enjoying it because she doesn't like that I take the photo. But I said, well, I have you, so
you're mine.
Yeah.
So what I say, and you're going to be in my painting.
Every time she's like, woo.
You're like, I own you, I made you, so you have to do this.
Yes.
Oh, I couldn't pull that off with my son.
Saying,
One day she will
get that attitude
appreciate
off your face. So I'm interested in your self-portraits. I'd love to see some of those. When you said before that you...
Yeah, I don't, because I had, probably on Facebook, they are on the old photos, because, I've made also many exhibition, it's correct, with them. But once I talked with the curator, and he said to me something interesting, that he said, you start with yourself, and then you will move with your someone of your family. And in that moment, I didn't thought about it. And then it's true, because probably my daughter is like a mirror that I can use to give a face to the emotion that I want to portray.
Right.
Cool.
So the curator, sorry.
You
The
go.
curator said, when you asked him what was your question to him or her? Was it, how do I expand? my collection, or
I show him. It's not really great because he was the owner of one of the major art gallery in Barcelona. I just he came to my exhibition and so he invited me to the gallery so I asked him if I could show him all my painting, to have some advice from him.
Mhm.
And it was very, very helpful because I was at the beginning of the my path like painter.
Okay.
Because as I told you, I work always using my hand for painting or drawing, but in the different. Only when I arrived in Barcelona, I had the courage to try to make an exhibition with my painting.
Yeah.
Before I wasn't sure, and I also probably used myself to expose myself. It was like to try to be courageous, because I was terrified. Absolutely terrified to do it.
Oh, wow.
It's
Yeah,
not easy.
No.
There are some interesting movements in terms of women in art and painting portraiture. And I know that in our Australian National Gallery, that they are trying to exhibit a lot more women and women's portraits, like deliberately going after it.
Yeah.
But which I'm assuming, I don't know, the Me Too movement has also been really powerful.
Yeah, probably something that led you also to liberate yourself. I don't know, maybe.
I think it's a nice activity actually to do a portrait of yourself. I've got one. I'll have to show it to you all one day.
I used to do portraits of myself, use myself as a model because I was the
I've
only
seen-
one available.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I was sort of, the light, and I was looking in the mirror, and I'm sorry, like this,
I have one. I have to redo mine.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. Do we have anything else, guys? Are we almost done? Lara, do you have anything?
No, I don't think so.
So we might be done today.
Okay.
And so, no. What do we have
No.
coming next week?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, yes. So next week.
Maybe
Next,
it's a surprise.
it is a surprise. I think we talked about it, but
number
yes,
of
it's a
things.
surprise.
All right.
Should I give a hint?
Do we want to give a little hint? Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, giving a hint is basically giving it away. So I'll give it away because we want you to come back and watch us.
Yes.
We'll be showing some of the paintings that we have. I personally don't have any, but others will be showing paintings. Yay! That they have, and I guess we'll show sort of each layer, who did what layer or what part of the painting. So that's really exciting. This is the interviews were really good, but now we're getting to the really, really good stuff.
Yeah, we're getting to the meat and bones of the project, people.
Yeah, the actual paintings will be revealed.
Yes.
Good
And
luck
we're
in the
also talking a
show,
little bit-
Denise.
Yes, good luck, Denise.
Good
Thank
luck,
you very
Denise.
much.
Bye for now.
Lara.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Lara.
Cheryl.
Bye.
Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks
everybody.
for watching.
Hey.